Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we'll be taking a look through my collection of vintage Penguin Collectors Society newsletters and their fantastic publications. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay, then, so we'll start off with, well, the very first Penguin Collectors Society newsletter, dated May 1974. Can you believe it? This is amazingly 50 years old now. So this was the very first one, and there wasn't a great deal to it, but pretty good for its day. Secretary there, David Hall, and just black and white. I don't think there's any pictures at all. Yeah, there we are. That's an original of number 1. I haven't quite got them all, sadly, but I've got a fair old run of them. This is number 2. This one's a little bit the worse for wear. A few bits and pieces that came with it. There we are. It's from the original owner. I was not a member back in 1974. I joined in the 90s. Number 3 here, January 75, and these early ones here there's not a massive amount to them. And then there's number 2, volume 2, number 1, July 75, and these early ones have just been reprinted by the Society in one of their many specials. So they do a special once a year, and as you can see, there is the exact facsimile. So if you're interested in having a look through these, and they are quite interesting to see the early days of penguin collecting, and they've all recently been reprinted, and yeah, you may end up with some funky postcard bookmarks as well. So throw that one in, but we'll look at their sort of separate publications in a minute. Volume 2, number 2, and as I said, I haven't quite got them all. I haven't really gone out of my way to get them all. Actually, got a picture cover here now, but some have sort of come my way over the years, and I've grabbed the ones that I've been missing. But now that I'm so close, I think I might try and finish off the set now. Of course, a lot of the information contained in these has been sort of updated and superseded as more information has been sort of found out. But the way to look at it is that this was a way that this is how sort of, the collectors started to learn about the imprint and the publisher and all its various imprints. This was, it was a learning curve, and the members would contribute to grow to like a comprehensive sort of database of information, and it was added on all the time. The Penguin Trail I used to like, that would list shops where you could find old penguins. And each sort of issue would generally have like a little feature on some sort of aspect of penguin. It's quite nice. An image I don't remember seeing before. And lots of people who you may, your names you may recognise from sort of penguin history appeared, of course, in these pages. There's number 20, June 83. One, 22. So that would have been their 10th anniversary in May 84. You can see the style of the magazine is changing now as we go along. That was the celebration for 50 penguin years in November 85. Logo swapped around there, then swapped back again. This is the most substantial one yet for number 28. You start to see it sort of progress and change as time goes on. One thing they did print in these early issues, as a new member joined, they printed their full address and sometimes their phone number as well. You'd never get away with that these days, of course, but back then, in fact, even in the 90s when I joined, my name and address was printed so that book dealers could send me catalogues. That's literally how it was. Nobody's permission was asked, Yeah, I think you'd struggle to do that. I forgot they did a badge, actually. I've got that somewhere. 30, 31. Coming up to the end of the 80s now. June 1999. I've got a little gap in my collection to number 43, which I think is the first one that I bought myself. I think I wrote off following a little article by Steve Hare in Book and Magazine Collector, and he wrote back, and I joined up on the back of that. That's up to number 44. Now, I don't think I missed any after that, because I've been a member for about 30 years in the society. Here's number 45. Can't remember. I've written various articles for it over the years. I can't remember, unfortunately, which ones I'm actually in, but I'm in a few. And different editors brought their own look to it. And this is, I really like this format, and I would read them literally cover to cover, usually multiple times, under the editorship of Steve Hare. I really like this, how they change the colours as well, a different colour each year. And obviously the Collectors Society is still around, and they publish 2 Penguin Collectors a year, plus a one-off publication as well for your membership. 2000. It's always a highlight when the new issue of the Collector drops through the door, and I don't think I've ever shown these on the channel before. So that's up to number 59, December 2002, and that's when we had our first sort of perfect bound one, so June 2003. Very, very nice. Pull these out, so they keep the same sort of style with the 2 colours per year, which I think is a really good way of doing it. Now, the Penguin Collectors Society has got a great website, and on it has anything sort of penguin news related is on that website, but it also has everything that's still in print. You can actually purchase directly from them, even if you're not a member. So bear that in mind. If you see anything today that you really would like to get your hands on, go to the Penguin Collectors Society.org, I think it is, and I'll put a link down below. And in their catalogue, you can see all their publications right back to the start, and anything that's still in print will be available to purchase. So might be worth you doing that. Here's 2010 now, number 75. Getting full colour inside now. I mean, really, really professional nowadays compared to the early times. Absolutely great magazine. And I've always thought it a bit of a shame that the Penguin Collectors Society has never really had much of a membership over like 400 or 500 people. I know people come and go, and some people pass away in that. But I see a real resurgence of people collecting penguin books. So I think if you are at all interested in them, definitely do give the society a try, because, well, as you see, we got some fantastic stuff to look through. This is just 10 years ago now, June 2014, so in Pelican Blue. 15. And obviously they're quite nondescript on the front, some of these, but inside, full of penguin goodness, you could say. Absolutely stacked full of it. And they do warrant rereading, because if you want to increase your penguin knowledge, this is really the way to do it. And there's a take on the penguin new writing. This is the way to do it, is just immerse yourself in issues of the Penguin Collectors Society magazine, really. And this is very, very gorgeous indeed. Glossy paper now, move to a glossy finish. And that's just an example. They, a bit like Penguin themselves, the Society have always gone to sort of make the best possible publications that they can. 98, 99. Now, issue 100 is still in the final stages of production, so it hasn't come out just yet. But the very latest issue is this one, which is number 101. And if we have a little flick through that one, we get their accounts once a year as well, and it's usually filled with a great mix of articles, as you can see. Certainly really like these. This was the latest issue, and as I said, 100, you haven't missed it. It just hasn't been published yet. So that was the issues of the Penguin Collector magazine. Now these are the publications that I've got which aren't part of the regular magazine, the newsletter. And this is just an odd one here. This is an index to the Society's first 30 newsletters. So obviously that's available online nowadays. This one's really nice. This is one of their very earliest publications. It's the basically it's the final part of Q21, the Penguin story. So it lists the catalogue up to that point, up to 1956. Really, really good. And reading through the early issues of the newsletter, collectors were really looking for copies of Q21 to use as a checklist, and they were encouraging members to pick them up when they saw them. Old trustees report here. Get a few of these sorts of things. Generally don't keep them. Right, so this is sort of the later publication. So I believe this is from the ring-bound edition of Q99. I believe this is like reprinting some of the slightly later issues as well. The supplementary catalogue. I remember getting it very early on in my time as a Penguin collector and found it very useful. This is their first miscellaneous. This is 1986. So this was something apart from the newsletters. It was like bits and pieces. So we've got the Flight of the Penguin, early handbooks, and then advertising in Penguins, that wartime blemish. It was not, it was just like a glorified version of the magazine. This was the first for the forces, looking specifically at wartime issues, Egyptian, American services editions, that sort of thing. So early sterling work being done on that front. It's miscellaneous too. I'll try and give you these in order. This is number 4. I'm sure we'll come across number 3 in a minute. There's miscellany 4, which is Yankee Doodle Penguin, Christmas crackers. And when I joined in the 90s, a lot of this stuff was still available, Penguin Miscellany number 5, the Illustrated Classics was the title feature on that one. Some lovely Robert Gibbings stuff in that. Now, I don't know which one is number 6. It's Happy Birthday Puffin. It's probably this one. So a Puffin related one. Yeah, Miscellany number 6, Bertha Puffin picture books. I said, although a lot of these have been superseded now, the content with modern editions, it's still quite nice to have these early ones. Books for the Bairns, Sally Wood, T. Steed, which came through the Penguin Society. What's this? The Renier Collection, Historic of Contemporary Books, Bethnal Museum of Childhood, Penguin Publications for Children. So it looks like it's a Penguin specific catalogue or listing by the look of it. Just that's why that's in there. This was, I believe, their first attempt at like a guide, a collector's companion. This was the first time they did it. This is volume 7 and volume 8. 1993. So basically it was the first of trying to piece together all the different series in that. Not an easy task, but that was the first time they did it. Then we got number 9, which is a look at the Penguin classics. Certainly a key part of Penguin's history. Mock, Missing and Miscellaneous. This was that was the miscellany number 3. So that's quite interesting, this one. So this one's just slightly out of order. Looking at the slightly odd bits and pieces, miscellaneous format books, that sort of thing. So that should be down. That should be in there. Now these aren't in specific order of publication, but we will just look through them all anyway. So, typography of Penguin books. And as I said, a lot of this is now available just through the website. You don't need to be a member of the Collectors Society, but you know, if you want the newsletters, I suggest you do join. This was a little reprint that they did for the service at the funeral of Alan Lane, the Penguin founder, like a one-to-one facsimile. Look at the Buildings of England by Bridget Cherry. This was, once again, this would be superseded later on, but quite a nice little guide at the time. This is a great one, which I believe a lot of this was put together by Joe Pearson. In fact, all of it. Absolutely phenomenal, this. I mean, the work and research that was put in. I'd say Joe Pearson is probably the greatest expert on this wartime sort of period of Penguin. And I just love some of the photos like that. Just incredible. Look at the penguins there. Brilliant, absolutely fantastic book. Forces Book Clubs, and this was like, when I first read this, it was really like opening up a whole new world. I thought, what are these penguins, you know? And yeah, absolutely fantastic, that one. I really recommend it. 60th anniversary of Pelicans. Oh, that was miscellany number 12 over there. Now this is the second update to the Collector's Companion. So it's been put into one volume now and it's been updated. So that was that one. This is now 1997. 80 years of Pelicans there. Paul Lacasse. Nice cover on that one. This is a real favourite. It's in A format. It's a look at the Abraham Games experiment, written by his daughter Naomi, and they're all in there. Absolutely fantastic. Really nice little publication. This, I love seeing stuff like that. Look at that. The penguins there in that little shop counter display full of games covers. That's the sort of thing I would love. Articles on Penguin books by Steve Hare, the sadly missed Steve Hare. He was the editor of the Society newsletter when I joined in the mid-90s. I think he did an awful lot to get penguin collecting more widely spread. Absolutely incredible collection himself, of course, and a nice man to boot. I mean, really, one of the nicest, and so patient with new collectors like me when I first joined. He was a font, him and Russell Edwards, in fact. So fantastic, sadly missed Steve. So that's some of his articles there. Shakespeare in Penguin. I'm not a massive Shakespeare fan, I have to say, but certainly he was inextricably linked to Penguin, you could say. And well, there's some great stuff in here. This is everything basically. Yeah, series I've still not got around to completing. Penguin Companion, updated yet again. This is yet another update. This is the 2006 edition. You see even more information in here in colour. Fantastic stuff about the early years. Well, about the complete history of the publisher. Penguin Classics, done like a classic black. Penguin Classic. Very, very nice. Obviously, we've got the great books on the classics and the Penguin Modern Classics nowadays. But that was really nice as it was. Father and Son, another one by Steve Hare. A special publication. So it's like famous Penguin authors written about by their offspring. This is a look at Maigret in Penguin books. This is really nice as well. This is a real collector's companion if you like Simonon, which I do. There's the whole list there. Absolutely essential if you're a collector of those books. Absolutely essential. Search of a Hero, looking for Alan Lane. Another sort of tribute to the great man. 21 years. That was done. What was this one about? Was this a miscellany? Yeah, this was miscellany number 10. So I thought I had them all, but it's slightly out of place. So this is July 1935. I got the dates wrong there. It was July 1995, so it was on the 60th anniversary. Tanya Schmoller, and looking at her life in Penguin Books, Penguin Days, all her recollections. Quite comprehensive, that one. Another look at the Buildings of England series. And I'm going to be revisiting this one since I picked up a load fairly recently. I know I'm missing a few, but not many. I see they show that fantastic catalogue there. I've got that one myself. It's a really, really great picture, that one. Yes, that looks really good. And then this was another more recent one, which is advertisements in wartime Penguin books. And this is another great one. Looking at the classic adverts, of which, you know, there were many and varied, weren't they? Look at them all. Loads of different ones. You sort of think you've seen the same ones again and again, like the grey cigarettes or Jif, but in actual fact, there was quite a few different ones, particularly during the war. Great stuff. So next we got the King Penguin series, and this is a great book, and I'd say this was the definitive guide to collecting King Penguin books. Really comprehensive, this one, and recommended. It's this is one of those ones that, you know, is out of print now, and I think there's masses of demand for it, because I've seen it go for about like £80, which is just, you know, crazy really. But there you go. And it is worth pointing out at this moment that some of these Penguin Collectors Society publications have runs of 500 to 1,000, so not many. Penguin by a designer here. Looking at the different designers. Very interesting indeed. Great book, this. Good stuff. And then one of the more recent ones, this is by Tim Graham, looking at ASB Glover. This one's done almost like a normal A format paperback. A great read it is too. Now, sometimes the Penguin publications are done in association with, and this one was one such thing. This is the Penguin Noah's Ark. It was done, it was a puff and cutout, and this was published in association with Design for Today, which is Joe Pearson's own publishing house, and yeah, limited to just 650 copies. So, you know, not many. And this is the process. Absolutely beautiful. Looking at, you know, the puffin cutouts as well. Joe's got a phenomenal collection of the puffin picture books, and just picture books in general. Great collector. So there's the story behind it. Then there is the actual book itself, and obviously unmade. And then there's a little tribute to John Miles there, a bit about the artist and designer. So that's a really great publication, and just the sort of thing that the Penguin Collectors Society do very well. Now here's, I believe, the most up-to-date version of the Penguin Companion. You see we've gone to hardback now with cloth boards, and this is now the 4th iteration of it. There's a few little updates. They did release a few corrections, and this was the last time it was done. You see all building on that original work that was done earlier on. This is now the 4th printing of this one. Yep, 2020, so that was the last time this one's been updated. Good one, definitely worth getting your hands on that. Some more of their larger publications now. These are facsimile reprints. This one, The Paperback Revolution. It's by Hans Schmoller. And if it's got a lot of Penguin content, it does tend to be, it's the sort of thing that they would reprint. A couple of these I've got the originals of, actually, but these were reprinted for the Society because they are quite scarce. That's another one here. Now this is the Typographica 5, Penguins on the March. Big format. And here's the monotype recorder. I got the original of this one as well. Another one by Schmoller. But this is like a facsimile reprint. Very, very nice. You can see really lush, lavish publication. Here's one I'm actually working through literally at the moment. This is a checklist of the Puffin picture books, and there was a supplement as well. I'm going through my Puffin picture books at the moment, figuring out which printing is which. This one is, once again, it's absolutely knockout. Every single book is pictured with the full colour reproductions. It's got foreign releases as well. The cutouts, just baby Puffins. It's really, really good. I mean, it's excellent. And there was a checklist of corrections and other things that have been found since that first book came out. As I said, I am literally in the middle of using this one at the moment to finally get round to doing my Puffin picture books. And this is another one which is a fantastic publication. This was Life Histories, where this one never actually got published, Puffin picture book number 116. And it did eventually get published through the Society. Paxton Chadwick did it. This is The History of Life Histories by Steve Hare. I think this is one that was found possibly in the archive by him, and he brought it to publication in Puffin picture book format here. Really, really nice. Beautiful. Beautiful publication, that one. Another one from Design for Today. The DFT logo there, White Horse. This is by Eric Ravelius. This is another one in a similar style, published on behalf or in conjunction with the Penguin Collectors Society. And all Design for Today publications are really, really terrific. I recommend them as a publisher. Very, very nice indeed. And then some of their more larger format specials now. As I said, you got one a year, or you get one a year. So this was The Life and Death of Penguin Education. Not an area I've collected much of, and sort of, it doesn't massively interest me, but it's still an interesting part of Penguin history and one to be aware of. This one's a look at the Penguin modern painters in modern painter format as well. Quite like the series, and some of the artists anyway, Really, really good look at that one. Then we got Lost Causes. This was the last miscellany, number 13. I said they're all different formats. It's a bit like the Q series, if you collect penguins, which are all sort of different sizes and shapes. But this was, a series that didn't quite come to fruition. Penguins in Print, a bibliography. Nice little miscellany. Then we got Penguins by Illustrated. This is a really, really great tome. Look at this, it's a proper book. 1,500 copies of this one in June 2009. Looking at some of the great design. Bang up to date for that time as well. It wasn't just vintage. And see, this is a really, really great book. You can lose yourself in books like this, I think, and find dozens of editions that you'd like to get, which is fatal. Now, I think this is probably one of my all-time favourite books that they published. It's once again by Joe Pearson, and all of his are just perhaps the best of all. Drawn directly to plate, Noel Carrington and the Puffin picture books. Another really, really well researched book, this. I mean, fantastic, really. Joe's collection is really terrific, and well, you just see there's so much good stuff in here. It's incredible. This is one of the top top books that you want to get, if you can find a copy. I did last see one in Hay on Wine. It was about 80 quid, and I thought that's ridiculous. I'm sure you'll be able to find one cheaper than that. But even so, you can see why. It's just brilliant. This is how they should be done. And then the last one I've got is this, which is Puffin's Progress. Slightly earlier, this is Steve Hare. A little list of contributors there. This is like a look of, a look back at Puffin's history, really, right up to the present day. I sort of try and draw the line at around the early 1970s, but certainly prior to that, I very much like them. Filled with memorabilia. I wonder if it's got the Puffin diaries in there anywhere. Yeah, great stuff. So there you go. That's my collection of Penguin Collectors Society books and publications. As you can see, there's an awful lot of it. Now, anything that's still in print, and a lot of it is just available from that Penguin Collectors website. So do head on to that page if there's anything that you fancy. And I would very strongly recommend joining the Penguin Collectors Society. I mean, why not? If you're into penguins, it is a £25 a year subscription, annual subscription, but that gives you two newsletters and one of their special publications. I don't know if it's a prerequisite or not, but the Penguin Collectors Society is having their annual general meeting. They have one a year. This year in 2024, it's in Exeter. And I don't know if it's a prerequisite that you need to be a member to actually attend that one, but I suppose it's recommended, and I shall be there. And I believe they'll have some of their publications there to sell as well. So, plus you'll meet like-minded penguin collectors. So definitely another reason to join. So anyway, there we go. If you've enjoyed today's video, do please give it that thumbs up. If you'd like to see more penguin related video content, well, you're in the right place. There's loads already on the channel with lots more to come. Thank you very much for watching today. If you've not already, do please hit that subscribe button for regular vintage paperback content, and I'll look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.